Most people don't live with an abundance consciousness. They don't believe that there's money all around just waiting to be picked up. We're going to show you the things that block most people from thinking in terms of abundance and what you can do to change that attitude. Therefore, let's explore the top thing preventing you from being rich. And for most people, it's our belief systems about money. We all think we want money, but if deep down you have this abhorrence of money, if deep down you're rejecting money, then you're going to have trouble accumulating it. Many of our thoughts and actions are determined by our core beliefs, largely formed at an early age. You might have, as a kid, for instance, said, "Mom or Dad, I want a bicycle." And they said, "Well, what do you think, kiddo, that money grows on trees?" And if you hear this often enough, money doesn't grow on trees, money doesn't grow on trees. Of course, we know that it doesn't literally grow on trees, but this negative belief gets infused in your brain and it leads you to believe that it's hard to get money. It's hard to acquire a bicycle. You'll probably never own one. We're poor. You'll never have something like that. That's only for rich people. And even though those assumptions may not be accurate, you believing that they are accurate will make them accurate for you. And these negative beliefs can manifest themselves in all different manners in different times of day and night. Money is the root of all evil. I'll mention this when people say, "Dolf, but you don't understand in the Bible." The true saying is, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And there's a big difference. And yes, there is a big difference. But when your brain hears the word money and evil in the same sentence, it makes that connection, no matter how long the sentence it is. Another one is, if you haven't worked hard for money, you don't deserve it. Well, you're never going to earn passive income if you believe that one. Or you have to have money to make money. Yes, it's easier to make money if you've got money, but most people who made it really big, who started their companies in garages, you can all think of the examples that are well often quoted. They started with nothing. It's how to turn something out of nothing that really sets you apart. And another one is, money can't buy your happiness. And you know, there are so many counters that I know money can't buy your happiness, but I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce than a Mini. Or money can't buy your happiness, but I'd rather be rich and unhappy than poor and unhappy. But all nonsense aside, if you believe all these things, then you will find justification for not having money. You've got to change that around. Instead of having these negative beliefs about money, you've got to train your mind to have positive beliefs about money. And here's the beauty of it. You don't even need to believe these for them to become true for you. If you say them over often enough in your mind, they will start to manifest for you. So instead of money is hard to come by, how about money comes to me easily? You might say, but I've got nothing, my pockets are empty. If you say this enough, it will start to come to you easily. Or, my poverty can help no one, but my wealth can help many people. What a great belief to have. You can justify being wealthy because then you can help more people. Or how about, I am a money-making juggernaut? That's going to change your attitude towards money. Or if that's too complex for you, how about simply, money is good. You can do good things with money. Or it's fun to help others with my wealth. It's a change of attitude that's going to change your circumstances. Or as Zig Ziglar always used to say, your attitude will determine your altitude. I'll often ask people, do you carry a large sum of money on your person? And a lot of hands go up, but I say something like $1,000 or more, and all these hands come down. And I'll say, why not though? And they come up with all these reasons. I might lose it, or I might spend it, or I might have it stolen from me. And I know these are valid concerns because sometimes you do lose money, or you do spend it, or you do have it stolen from you. But for the most part, that's not the reason why people don't have this money. They don't trust themselves with this money. They don't trust themselves not to lose it, or not to have it stolen, or not to spend it. And oh my gosh, if you don't have the self-control not to spend it just because you've got the money in your pocket, then you've got a serious problem. But my proposition to you is this. If you don't trust yourself with $1,000, how are you ever going to trust yourself with $1 million? And how will you ever have $1 million? Because subconsciously you're already telling yourself you don't trust yourself. So it's a social experiment, and I'm not giving you the background to it here. Try carrying $1,000 on your person for a week. Now some of you will have it stolen from you, some of you will spend it, and some of you will lose it. And you can't sue me if that's the case. But I think for many of you who don't have it stolen, lost, or spent, for the first time in your lives, you'll have trusted yourself with $1,000. And that's a great step towards being able to make $1 million. In addition to a healthful mindset about money, You need to have healthful thoughts about real estate. For instance, you have to develop an attitude towards real estate that says you choose to believe that great deals really do exist and that you will find them. One of my favorite sayings is that the deal of the decade comes along about once a week. Now, if you think that by literal mathematical definition, the deal of the decade comes along exactly every 10 years, then when you hear that I've found a great deal, you'll stop looking for the next 9.9 years because I've found this decade's great deal. Whereas if, on the other hand, like me, you believe that the deal of the decade truly does come along about once a week, then it doesn't matter whether you hear that I find 3 of them and your cousin's found 4 and a neighbor's found another 2, you will keep looking because there's another great deal out there for you. We become our dominant thoughts. The deal of the decade truly does come along about once a week. Have a positive attitude towards real estate. To help you expand your mindset about real estate, I wrote this book called 101 Ways to Massively Increase the Value of Your Real Estate Without Spending Much Money for 2 reasons. One is by looking at these 101 ways, you might say, oh my gosh, you can do this, or oh my gosh, I get that now, you can do that as well. But beyond that, beyond these 101 ways, you will come up with your own 101 or maybe 202 ways, other ways, additional ways, things I haven't thought of, or things that weren't possible when I wrote this book because technology has changed. You can now do things that you couldn't do before. It's going to spur your thinking. It's going to spur your creativity. And here's the great thing. You can get a free copy of the book by clicking on the link below. And when you do so, you're going to read it, you're going to get great ideas. It's going to put you on the right track to building wealth through real estate, but it's also going to foster your own creativity to come up with your own ideas. Click the link below. Make sure you get a copy of your free book today so that you can start this process today. Thank you so much for joining me to discover the top things that may be preventing you from getting rich and the things you can do to overcome them. Please remember to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you're really going to like the next one. We're going to explore more ideas about real estate and how it can change your financial future forever. Look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much.